Well, it's nearly the end of September, it's time to get planting again. This bed last week looked like this one. It was full of lovely peppers, just like these, but we've harvested all those now. Loads of them are in the freezer, loads of them have been given away. We've still got quite a few sitting in a tub that'll see us through this week and next week. And this pepper bed will stay with us now for another sort of 3 weeks probably, whilst we just harvest it fresh. And then this too will be replanted. The benefit of these lovely low covers. And if you're interested in building anything like this, then take a look at my ebook. I'll put a link to the relevant chapter down below. It's all free. Right, so let's have a look at what we've got. So I've got a whole load of trays of salad ingredients, lots of lettuce. The beds are going to look something like this once they're all planted up. These are the ones we're going to be eating, well, pretty soon actually, within 1 or 2 weeks. Basically, these are the ones that are going to see us through until the lettuce is in the polytunnel already. I'm not ready to plant the polytunnel at the moment. It's currently full of stuff. I've probably got another week of harvesting from there before I take all that out and get it reconditioned and planted. But for now, we're planting the low tunnels. So let's have a look at how I do that. So I make the holes with my trusty dibber, which is an old fork handle, and I want 25 plants per, well, it's not quite, just over a metre squared, this bed. So I just mark out my corners. Mark out my centres. And then fill in the gaps. So this is one of my sunniest beds, and you really do need sunny for growing them like this. So these are lovely little examples of Brighton, one of the best winter lettuces to sort of grow for hearts. I kind of hesitate to say hearts as well, because you know, they don't form very big hearts, not in these low tunnels, but they're reasonable if you can keep them sort of healthy, which can be, you know, a little bit of a challenge. You want to avoid, especially when you get to winter, you want to avoid any real watering. So the beds, you want them nice and moist, not too wet when you go into winter, and then basically don't water them at all. And even on the run up to winter, best to avoid watering the leaves and just try and water the root zone. But these little plants are looking nice. My beds are a little bit strawy on the surface because they were mulched with strulch, which I've taken up and put in bags ready for next year, because I don't really need strulch on the beds in winter. It sort of creates a bit of a mat, which an anaerobic mat, stops airflow down to the plant roots. But anyway, these are looking lovely, and I'll show you what I do next in a minute. So once I've got them in the holes, I just firm them in with 2 fingers and make sure the modules go down to the bottom of the holes that I've made. And I'm just creating a small depression into which I can water the plants if I need to. Although the bed's pretty well watered now, it was pretty dry after harvesting the peppers. I've given it plenty of water now. So the next tray I'm putting in are these beautiful bronze coloured Roxy. And Roxy's not a great, well, neither is Brighton really. Neither of them are a great lettuce for any other time of year. But for winter, they're 2 of my favourites. And as I say, they're particularly favourites for this scenario, i.e. growing fairly big plants, moderate sized sort of heads, for a harvest in midwinter, when I'm absolutely at my shortest in terms of lettuce harvest. So these beds will get completely cleared by the end of by the end of February, and then I'll put carrots in here for nice early carrots in sort of June time. So I find that my big polytunnel is the absolute best place I've got for growing lettuces. Actually better than the greenhouse at home because it gets more light, and because it's only got cool weather crops in it, I can give it more ventilation than I can give the greenhouse, which has, tomatoes and cucumbers and things. But the cold frames are fine. So these low tunnels are fine for lettuce, although they don't tend to get through winter particularly well. So I'll be replanting with new lettuces for spring in a few weeks' time. But the cold frames are great for spinach and Asian greens, things like that, things that don't suffer from stem rot, basically. So I'm really happy with those. So here's a bed of lettuce that I planted last week, still looking quite feeble. And here's a nice little bed of salad rocket. Now this salad rocket I'm going to be harvesting quite, what's the right term, aggressively perhaps, because I don't want it to get too big. So I think I've got a few spare Riccia lettuces. I think I'm going to try growing those in these gaps between the salad rocket, and as I say, just means I have to be quite rigorous in terms of keeping on top of the salad rocket harvest. But Riccia doesn't last much beyond autumn, the end of autumn, so and that's basically when the salad rocket will be coming out as well. So that allows me to get two crops out of the same area and just take a little bit of a chance, but I think it'll be okay. At this time of year, on a sunny day, there's no problem with giving things a good water from the top. But as I say, as you approach the end of autumn and into winter, really avoid top watering like this and concentrate on the root zones. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. So in winter, I break out my mini watering can and just water the root zone like this, trying to avoid too much water on the leaves. Obviously I'm not being so careful right now because it's not winter, so it don't really matter, but that's what I mean anyway. And at this time of year, all of these beds stay really well ventilated. So there's a lot to keep track of in my videos, isn't there? So I think the best way is to subscribe to my newsletter, and it comes out every week and it's free, and if you look at that then you'll find out all the things that I'm doing, and so all the varieties that I'm sowing, everything I'm pricking out, everything I'm potting on, everything I'm planting, everything I'm harvesting, all the problems I'm having, and how I'm dealing with them, all that sort of thing. So all those details are in the newsletter and lots more. So just subscribe to that. You can find it at steverichards.substack.com, and there's a link down in the description below. Let's get on. So next up are the Asian greens, and I'm starting off with these really lovely red stem pak choi, and I'm really packing these in. So I'm putting 35 plants in, whereas with the lettuces I put 25, and they're a bit leggy, as you can see, so I'm putting them in quite deep So I dib deep holes and I'm burying the whole of the leggy stem to make sure that they're kind of well supported, and I think they'll do just fine. But the reason I'm packing them in tight is because I'm not growing them to maturity. I'm just growing them for baby leaves for salads, and they make a really nice addition to the salad mixes. And this bed will be replanted probably in January. I find that these Asian greens, they do go to seed by the end of January really. So yeah, I'll be putting cauliflowers into this bed for a harvest in May. So I'm very happy with those. I've just put another bed of tatsoi in here, given those a bit more space. So in this case, this is 25 to just over a square metre. And tatsoi and red stem pak choi, basically all the Asian greens, are beloved of flea beetle and slugs and snails. So if you're not confident that your bed is free of slugs and snails, it is worth dropping in maybe 5 or 6 slug pellets in each bed or something like that, just to see if you've got a problem and manage that. I'm pretty confident actually that my beds are free, because these again have been mulched with strulch, which definitely reduces the number of slugs and snails in the beds. And because they've not been heavily watered, because they've been peppers and they've only been watered in the root zone, I don't think there's a problem. But of course they can always crawl in, and there's plenty of slug habitats around the plot. So flea beetle, I'm hoping that's over with now. We've had a frost, the nights are cold, the days are warm, but the nights are cold. The tatsoi is a little bit small, to be honest, to be planted out, I think. But, you know, who knows when the next sunny, non-hiking day is going to be. So I think it's just best to get on and let them take their chance. And then next, I've just got to pop some salad rocket underneath this mesh in this carrot bed. And obviously I've got to give it a bit of a weed first. And then finally, I've just got to put this this bed, which was spinach, early spinach, which has gone to seed now. This spinach is fine. I've got 2 more beds of spinach down there for salad leaves. So this one is just going to be the final bed of lettuce, 25 to a bed. And these are a mix of winter density, which are those, and Valdor, which are those, and they look exactly the same, and Grenoble Red, which are these. So that's all those lettuces in. All these beds, all 4 of them, all these will be cauliflowers and calabrese in February. So it looks like there's a lot of lettuce that I've planted, but it's all there really just for that period from the end, well, the middle of December through to sort of the middle of February, and then everything gets replanted. So that's a nice way just to use up that otherwise wasted little bit of space. And this bed, in 3 weeks time, when I clear this bed of peppers, that low tunnel will go on top of here and provide some protection to these. These carrots will be harvested, they'll get replanted, and then this spinach bed will get replanted with, this pepper bed will get replanted with spinach. So yeah, still lots to plant. And then when I take this squash frame down, which might be later on today, might not, I will be able to put a cold frame top on here and plant this bed up with carrots. So I've just levelled it off now, given it a good water. I'm planning really on the 10th of October to put the carrots in here. With carrots that have been overwintered for a harvest in spring, you really don't want the carrots to be very big. I sort of go for about an inch tall in December. They don't really grow very much all the way through December, January and early February. Then they really sort of burst into life and give you a nice harvest in early spring. So yeah, that'll be the carrots. So that was a busy day. Hope you like this video. My name's Steve. This is the Outgrow channel, and I'll see you soon.